Hey y'all, this is Trish checking in with Echoes Through the Ethers. It's been a minute, y'all. It's been a minute. Just like a little check-in with me. Just got a lot of newness going on, a lot of changes. So when I go through a lot of changes, I isolate. That's just something that I do to make sure that I get myself together. But Spirit was telling me to share this specific message on something that I had a realization on. So I wanted to come and do that. Y'all gonna see me simping. This stuff is black. It's activated charcoal and psyllium husks. I'm doing like an anti-parasite treatment right now. And it got me sick than a motherfucker, y'all. Like, I look sick by that. I know I do. Man, I'm a lot better than I was, but it's been like 3-4 days. My ass been bedridden, for real. But I'm trying to get up and kind of move a little bit and get some fresh air and in my neighborhood and stuff, and trying to do a little something, but get some sun, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get to sharing what I want to share though. So long story short, y'all, you know, I have my hands and feet in multiple different projects that I do. I keep it like that because I'm a Sag moon, and which pretty much means that I like a variety of things, otherwise I get bored. And then I'm an Aquarius sun, so I have that humanitarian like energy to me. So I've been running this case study. I'm gonna come in and talk about the case study that I've been doing, but not right now. But I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about what I experienced. But I'll come in with a video and telling y'all more about the case study at a later point. But this what led me to do this video. So pretty much I came in contact with the individual, close proximity with the individual, and the individual, the moment that they came in contact with me, was expressing frustrations to me that they were having about me driving, taking a specific route. And I was like, I apologize. I can't necessarily take that route because I'm not familiar with the neighborhood. I'm sorry, I'm not from this neighborhood, so I can only take the route that my GPS system tell me to take. So I apologize. Like that. So the individual was upset about it and started to express frustrations about the area, stating that people get shot over there. His friend got shot, and all of these people got shot this time of morning. People get killed, and you know, all of these sorts of things. So I'm like, just to kind of, you know, let you know, like, this ride is, you know, this chariot is protected by my ancestors, so no worries. And then I'm also a licensed carrier, so I'm packing. Like, you safe, just chill, we good, like that. And his fear was just immense. So he was already feeling on edge because of that. Then I was playing my music. I'm kind of telling on myself, but yeah. And I remember it was the Luther Vandross and Beyonce song. And this individual was like, sorry y'all, my nose is like, Lord. This individual was like mumbling under his breath, but I could clearly hear him. And he was like, what the fuck is this music? What the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck? He was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Wait. Yo. In my head, the whole time, I'm like, bruh, going through it. And so, he's just like back there mumbling. So I finally get him to his destination. And he get out the car and slams my door. And I'm like, if you don't know me, my car is very special to me. I don't play no games about my car. Don't play with me when it comes to my car, okay? I like to keep my stuff nice. So, you ain't about to tear up my shit, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the quickest way to get snapped the fuck off on. So, he get out the car. And he go around the back of the car. And he go to his destination. So I was like, that was the wrong move, bruh, to slam my door like that. He starts walking fast back to my door to open it up again, but I locked it. Long story short, he ended up trying to get inside of his destination, but they was closed. And so he started to try to flag me down to get a ride back to where he was going. And I said, both middle fingers up to him, and I pulled off, you know, as I should have. Now, I want to break that situation down a little bit because y'all know how I am. Echoes through the ethers I gave birth to echoes through the ethers because I'm the type of person who sees beyond the veil. I read between the lines. I'm a pattern person. I read patterns and shit. It's not what you say, it's what you don't say that I see. You understand? That's what gave birth to echoes through the ethers because I see the truth. I see the archetype that you hold, not the one that you want me to see, not the fake mask that you wear, but I see your real archetype, number one. And number two, I see your true patterns. I see your patterns, not what you say out your mouth, but what you do. I just need time to sit back and observe you in your true nature, and I'll always be able to read you. The truth for you. What you are, what you not, what you supposed to do, your purpose, everything. I'm talking about break it down. And that's just how I always been. That's why I always been quiet and weird. Because a lot of interactions that I've had with people over my life, people wear masks. They pretend to be something that they're not. And when they pretend to be something that they're not, I can feel and see the truth behind the illusion that they try to present to the world. You know, nobody really stands in truth and transparency and authenticity in this world. Everything is about perception. You know, it's about lies. It's about illusions. It's about masks. It's about tricks. It's about manipulation. Excuse me. That's what this world is about. This world is very inverted. So my whole thing is I know how to turn this bitch upside down. Well, it is turned upside down. I know how to turn it right side up. That's what I mean. And a lot of people don't like me for that. They don't like me for that because they feel exposed in my presence. They feel exposed when I call them the truth out about them. They feel exposed. And a lot of people don't want to feel like that because they want you to see the lie that they present, not the truth. They don't stand in authenticity, transparency, and truth. They stand in lies. But the thing is, when you lie and you manipulate, there's always a slip up in your pattern, which is what I catch all the time. I catch it. So that's kind of like my gift, you know? And the whole thing about that is, in this situation, my whole thing is when I'm driving and this guy is in the back seat, The first thing about him that I noticed is his emotions felt extremely big inside of his body about me driving down that specific street, Lake Street. He felt extremely upset about that. That was extremely triggering for him. And then the icing on the cake was the dislike and the disdain for the music that I was playing, right? This is the thing, y'all. His emotions are inside of his body and directly tied to his experiences that he's had in his life. I don't feel his big feelings inside of my body. You understand? And my whole thing is, the issue here is that he did not know how to, what's the word I want to use? 1 second, y'all. One second. Regulate. Thank you, Spirit. He did not know how to regulate himself. Self-regulation. When it comes to talking about emotions, first of all, I don't want to just take his emotions and swipe them under the rug, because they are valid. What he was feeling in that moment was extremely valid, and it was extremely real for him. Okay? And I'm not saying that he's not allowed to feel. Yes, you are allowed to feel. But when it gets to the point where, when you feel something inside of your body and you decide to hurt someone else or something that belongs to someone else because you cannot regulate the way you feel, is a problem for me. That's a problem for me. Because essentially we all have feelings and we all have triggers. We all do, right? But the problem is when you allow your feelings and sometimes even your inability to do certain things get in the way. I'm gonna give you another example. I was driving and it was 2 lanes. One was a turning lane and one was a lane to continue to go straight. I had merged into the turning lane, getting ready to turn down the street. And the name of the street was Legacy. That was the name of the street. And there was an individual that was in this non-turning lane. Do you know, as I got ready to turn mid-turn, literally mid-turn, this motherfucker zoomed around me, almost hit me and knocked me off the road, and then pressed 100 down a residential road. Key example. Whether he was late, impatient, or what have you, his inability to leave 5 minutes ahead of time to make sure that he can drive without hurting himself or someone else on the road is up to him. But a lot of people suffer with what me and Spirit came to the conclusion of is main character syndrome, where they think that they are the main character in this world and everybody else don't matter. Just they matter. Just their feelings matter. Just what they got going on in their life matters. Me being late for work, it matters. Everybody else don't matter. The fact that there could have been a kid crossing that street out of nowhere and got hit didn't matter to him. He just cared about whether he was goofing off or if he was really, really late. That's what truly fucking mattered to him. And he was willing to hurt somebody to do whatever it is that he was trying to do. You understand what I'm saying? And nobody else mattered to him in that moment. Hold on, y'all. All right, I'm back. I had to close these damn windows because these mosquitoes is out here. And I ain't got time. Okay. But, and that's the thing. When you get to the point where you have main character syndrome to where nobody else matters in your world, even when it becomes a safety issue, like you willing to run people off the road, you're willing to allow your emotions and your feelings to hurt somebody else because your feelings are big inside of your body, even though other people don't understand what's going on inside of your body. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like this man that was in the back of my car. I didn't understand what was going on inside of his body. I really didn't. I don't feel what you feel. I'm empathic. I know something is off. So I can feel you, but I can't feel what you feel. But I can easily discern that something is extremely wrong with you. Right? And it's crazy to me because it's like he was willing to break my car door. The other guy was willing to run me off the fucking road. And it's so interesting. All of this is feeding into my case study to be able to see the psychology and the truth of people. Not for what they want you to see, but it's like the Animal Channel. You know how back in the day, the guy, the alligator dude, he used to be like Crocodile Dundee. We're going to see the alligator in his wild habitat. And you start observing the animal in its true habitat. Not in a zoo, not where he know he being observed, but let him act natural how he usually act. You get the real true data of what's really fucking going on. It's like field study, case study. And so I'm gaining, you know what I'm saying, all of this. And so I'm like, this is interesting. And the most interesting piece is the people that I encounter the most with this issue is people who look like me, are the most self-entitled, arrogant people where they don't have a sense of, like, they don't like to follow other people's rules and boundaries. Okay? Because I'm a person of rules and boundaries. Like I said, my car is very important to me. So, I mean, I'll show y'all. I got this letter on the back of my seat. On the back of my seat, so a motherfucker know. Listen, don't play with me. I am not the one. So I say no smoking, no vaping in the ride, no animals. I'm allergic. And I said I'm a licensed to carry person, so don't start no shit. It won't be no shit. Period. And that's just that. Sometimes you gotta let a motherfucker know, because I done had to call them boys on a black dude before that was just being extremely rough with me. So he got in the car, he tried to get in behind me and sit, and I was like, nah, you can sit on the other side, because dudes be sitting behind you jacking off and doing some other weird shit while they behind you. So fuck no, I ain't going for that. So I said, no, you got to sit on the other side. Bruh got pissed off. Then I had to ask him for like a code or some shit for, you know, the ride or whatever. And he got even more madder. I'm finna be late for my motherfucking class, bitch. You. Wow. I'm like, this is interesting. This person, I literally am a woman, and I'm driving in this car by myself, and I'm sure this is a man who has a mother and sisters, and he understands the level of discomfort that women have with men nowadays, because men are disgusting and sexually ridiculous. And so they do some weird shit, and you never can put shit past motherfuckers. And I could read this dude's energy. I could feel that he was the type of motherfucker that would sit behind me and be doing some weird shit. Like, I just felt this shit, bruh. So I was like, no, you can't sit behind me. What? You got too many rules. You got too many boundaries. Baby, the world is full of rules and boundaries. If you don't fucking like it, get the fuck out. People are gonna have boundaries about themselves and their shit. So you want to be able to do what the fuck you want to do, how you want to do it in people's shit, and expect them to just take it because you? This main character syndrome. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you sick? Are you psychotic? Like, something got to be wrong somewhere. If you think you finna roll up in my shit and do what the fuck you want to do. Oh boy. No, we ain't having that. So, I'm like, these are just very few of the situations. Excuse me, y'all. My head is banging. These are very few of the situations that I've encountered. Excuse me. But essentially, I said all of this to say this. Emotionally, the feelings that you feel inside of your body, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're on a job or whatever else the case may be, people like the guy that was in my car, essentially I could feel that something was off about him. But you think about people who don't have discernment like I do. They don't know what's wrong with you. They don't know what you're feeling inside of your body. So unless you, one, express yourself and practice transparency, or two, learn how to regulate your emotions, you can't expect people to tiptoe around your feelings. Nobody in this world is going to tiptoe around your feelings. And two, the fact that most people who have extremely big feelings tend to hurt other people because they cannot control or regulate their emotions and feelings is a key reason why a fraction of the world tends to stay in trouble the most. I've gotten to the point where hindsight is always 20/20, y'all. I used to be that girl who used to have a big attitude, who used to go off on people real easy, hop off at the motherfucking mouth real easy on a motherfucker. But that never got me nowhere but ignored. And I think about it's a learned behavior that I learned from other women in my family. That's how they got shit done. By talking loud, threatening, that's how they got shit done. That's how they got fear, shook. It was never from a true space of gentleness, softness. Damn, look at that big ass mosquito. That shit crazy. I don't know if y'all can see him. Ugh. It wasn't though. It wasn't one of those loving situations like, oh, sweetie, I'm sorry that, but this is what it is. It was never that. Not in no black household. It was never that. Nigga, no. It was, get your mother. You want a whooping? I don't raise mine like that. But that's how I was raised. Shit. And most neighborhoods and households are to that same faction. So it's like, who really taught us how to regulate ourselves? Who really taught us that because we feel big stuff inside of our body that the sun rises up and sit on our ass? Doesn't rise up and sit on our ass. Nobody ever really truly did teach us no shit like that. You see? Nobody ever taught us or gave us, honestly, tools on how to regulate ourselves emotionally. Nobody ever really told us how to overcome. They used our anxiety as a tool to get us to do what the fuck they wanted us to do. Motherfuckers wasn't trying to get you not to be not to have anxiety or feel less anxious in the world. No, they used that as a tactic, as a tool to get you to do what the fuck they wanted you to do. The fuck? Motherfuckers weren't trying to get you. What? Like, for real though. What they did that at? Not in my shit. Nah. And I wasn't raised in the fucking ghetto. I was raised pretty damn good. My grandma was a nurse. My grandma raised me. So we was middle class. We was raised decent. You know what I'm saying? Nice ass house. Raised decent. Shit, that ain't got shit to do with shit. So, it's just, I know I'm all over the place, but somebody will get a message from out of this, because Spirit keep pressing me to talk about this shit. And I'm just like, all right, gang, dang. Shit. I'm over here hand hurting and shit. I'm actually starting to feel better. So, but Spirit just kept pressing me to talk about it. I was sitting in the tub and shit, just in the warm water, just soaking in shit, trying to, get a little vibe going on and shit. But Spirit was like, no, you need to, it just kept coming up. So I'm like, let me just do a little video and post it, because I ain't posted in a long ass time. It's been so much going on. But I'm gonna come with a new series though, y'all, for Echoes Through the Ethers, at a later point. But honestly, it's like, I just start looking through the lines of the shit that people show me, and it really gives me a real view and a real understanding of how to create solutions for people, for neighborhoods, for all sorts of things. Because my life purpose, I'm a system creator. So I came to create systems of higher functioning, of higher vibrations. So, and this goes to show you, because, and I'm a shift the conversation into some other shit when it comes to emotions. So listen to this. Even in regards to myself, this is how I know spirituality is inherently evil according to society. And this is why I say this, yo. Because anytime that you put yourself in a position, just hear me out. Anytime you put yourself into a position to overcome and become self-empowered and to overcome the things that held you behind, you go through the hero's journey. You go through, I call it Persephone's world. If you know about the goddess Persephone and how she had to go to the underworld, and then her mother Demeter went to save her, and she spent half the time in the underworld and half the time in the other world. And she was like half and half, you know? And so I lived that life where I literally go to Tartarus and I collect and gather my demons, and I square up in the dojo with each one of them bitches, and I duke it the fuck out until I beat their ass, and I redeem the energy, and they go to heaven. And essentially, this shit is very violent. So the people who are, and I went through this phase too, the love and light phase, the peace and meditation, and oh, let me just be peaceful. Listen, don't let nobody trick you up out your motherfucking spot, because that's bullshit. Real shit. That's bullshit. This shit ain't peaceful. Yes, you have to have a balanced ratio of doing this level of work and having things to balance you out. Like, for example, yes, I do this work with myself and I observe other people, but I also have things to balance me out. Like, I go for massages once a week. I love to go to the spa, get facials. I have waterfall in my home. I have certain lighting installed. I have singing bowls and tuning forks and shit like that. I get Reiki healing. I do all of that stuff because that's my half of peace. But I don't stay there, because if I stay there, it would be boring. I can't even lie to you. Too much peace is a fucking thing. You get bored. So I have to balance it out with observation of chaos. And that is the thing, because I found the very balance for me, my ratio, my framework that helps me live a balanced life where I'm fulfilled and I source my own energy from my own self. I don't need nobody to make me feel anything. I don't need no nigga. I don't need no bitch. I don't need nobody to make me feel anything. I'm a noble gas all on my own. Real shit, gang. Real shit. I don't need nobody to give me energy. I don't need nobody to validate or value me. I don't need nobody to give me nothing. And I was just talking about this in my journal, where I was talking about, it's crazy how you take Sha'Carri Richardson, for example. Her gifts are on the surface. And you hear so many people like, damn, this is so influential, like how amazing she is, how dope she is. Like, they see what she do because it's on the surface. You see Beyonce's gift, it's on the surface. You see these people's gifts on the surface, but my gift is in depthness. It's not something you can see with the eyes. But I'm the most gifted because everything that I do, I have the power to create new worlds. I'm just speaking truth from truth, spirit from spirit. I'm not speaking from ego. Please don't take this as me being egotistical. If Jordan came in and said he was the best player that ever did it, it's not coming from an egotistical place. He's speaking truth. It's proven, right? To me, it's been proven that I am the coldest when it comes to this level of work that I do. I've proven time after time, bro, I have broken myself down next to nothing and rebuilt everything up. Man, if y'all knew me, man, about 3 years ago, I went to Texas with a friend and had to come back and go to a fucking shelter and start completely over. I'm talking about I ain't have shit. I ain't have nothing. And this is just material stuff. But I had to build myself back up, piece by piece. You see what I'm saying? Like piece by piece. And I don't regret shit. I don't regret nothing. But you can tell the weak from the strong because I don't look like what I've been through, baby. Let me tell you, I don't look like what I've been through. And in any situation, no matter what I experience, I always find a way through. I don't never avoid or run from my challenges or my triggers. I may compartmentalize them and handle them later because I know what I can deal with and handle and process at the time. But I always find a way to face and process my emotional triggers. Hands down. Have to. Because how you gonna get to the other side of it? You got problems with your family? I'm sorry to tell you, you're gonna eventually have to face that shit. Otherwise, you're gonna come back to this bitch and have to do it all over again. You got problems in the workplace? Eventually, you're gonna have to figure out how to overcome it. Because I'm gonna tell you, avoiding it, that becomes a blockage to opportunities and future blessings for you in your life. So I'm gonna give you a great example. I remember when I used to live in the projects a long time ago. I was the resident council over like 600 units. And the people who was a part of the city council came to one of my resident council meetings. And they seen all of these programs that I was creating for kids. I was starting like a reading program for people. I was starting a program for the kids, like an after school program. I was starting so many different things because we had money up there that wasn't being used. So I'm getting cards in the mail stating that kids who look like me have the lowest reading score. So I'm like, oh, okay, let's do something about that then. I went door to door and shit. You know what I'm saying? Started the whole program. Anywho, city council heard about it. They came. They asked me to come join their meeting. So I came. I showed up or whatever. They asked me to run for city council. One of the ladies really loved me. She loved my personality, my genuineness, my transparency, and my truth. So she like, oh man, I want to have you come to this event. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. My brother went with me and everything. So I dressed up and went to the event, and people were like talking to me. And when I tell you, my throat chakra was locked. Like, I don't know. I was just so intimidated by the space and the people. And I couldn't talk. And I pulled out because it was too much for me. I didn't have the emotional capacity for that at the time. And that was a blockage for me. And I didn't get to attain that blessing then because I wasn't ready for it. I had some more lessons and things I had to overcome emotionally, learning how to regulate myself. Okay? Same thing. I remember I was working with a friend of mine. She's a behavioral therapist, and she got a program she created in Minneapolis public school system to help kids who don't know how to regulate their emotions and are upset, you know, going through things. And she created pretty much like a healing room where she gave me my own goddamn office. And I worked 5 days a week, 6 hours, making like $40-something an hour, with opportunity to make $100 an hour doing yoga classes. Barely having to truly lift a finger. I walked away from that because the counselor that worked at the school was pissed that 2 black women was replacing her, and she felt like we was replacing her. And so she had a disdain for our presence. And because we had to go through her for like referrals and different things like that when it came to certain stuff in the school, she made it extremely uncomfortable. And my whole thing at the time was I want to be in a place where people are excited that I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not celebrating my presence or looking at my presence as something beautiful and valuable, I don't want to be a part of it. Because ain't nobody got time to be fighting with hoes all day. I ain't got time for that shit. Attitudes and shit. That shit gets to be draining. It does. But I walked away because of that. My inability to handle other people's emotional upsetness about my presence made me walk away from the most easiest opportunity in my life. Hindsight is always 20/20. You feel me? So I'm not only paying attention to other people, but I also pay attention to myself. And I can use real life examples about me and how I have been emotionally unintelligent, emotionally unable to regulate myself. I've been in those shoes, bruh. And each time this is why I don't avoid those things. I have to be strategic about when I experience them, because otherwise they'll drain me and I have to balance it out with other things. But I don't avoid them. I strategically face them. And I overcome them in time so that I can get to the other side, because I will not allow, that won't be my story. I will not allow my emotions to keep me from opportunities and blessings that are tied to my purpose. Hell no. That's why I say spirituality is hard work. You really have to overcome yourself. This is why be weary of a motherfucker who ain't truly overcame shit within their own life, but trying to tell you how to do some shit spiritually. Be very fucking weary of that motherfucker, because that's a charlatan. If they can't give you real life experiences and examples how they overcame the shit that they trying to preach in your face, how they done seen it and been in the trenches with the shit, i.e. motherfuckers in my car, I'd run straight case studies, field studies and shit, studying motherfuckers' minds and dark psychology and shit. I really be in the field, my guy. This ain't a joke. Look, I got the goddamn thing right here in my window. I really be out here running case studies. I'm trying to get to the point to see if I can record and what that all come with, and signage, because this is people being upset and pissed off. So a lot of people ain't gonna want people to see them like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to see if I could do voice recordings of it and kind of like muffle people's voices. I'm trying to figure out how I can do this shit, because I'm gonna create a whole series of the shit that I experienced, bro. And I'm not afraid. I'm actually intrigued. I'm intrigued. And it's actually fulfilling to me. I'm in the lower half of experiencing the very thing that is most fulfilling to me in my life. And I love doing this shit. And eventually I'm going to get to a space to where I create the ultimate idea of how to execute this in a higher vibrational way. And it's coming. I'm not worried about it. But the universe know in my heart, I love to observe folks in their natural habitat and just break their archetype down, their patterns down. Like, I love this shit. I live for this shit. Like, nothing fulfills me more to be able to break some shit down. Like, somebody said a long time ago, they said Aquarius is the type of motherfucker to study you like a science experiment, like a specimen. Like a specimen. They said like a fucking Frankenstein or some shit. And once they figure you out, They will tell you everything about yourself in truth, and it'll all be true. And then they'll walk away. Listen. That motherfucker ain't tell not one lie. At all. At all. Listen. Not one fucking lie. That's why I ain't gonna never be the type of chick that will get played by no whack ass, manipulative ass dude. Excuse me. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. But yeah, y'all, I had to come and talk about this, and I hope I'm gonna ask Spirit if I talked about everything that they wanted me to talk about. Okay. They want me to talk about the family part. So growing up around my family, one of the things is that I grew up in a family where your personal individuality and your personal feelings didn't matter. It was always about traditions and the elders' feelings and what they wanted. And any time when you push against those things, you are kind of ostracized. Especially if they can't force you to do what they want you to do. And so for me, I understand that God equals choice. And that we all have choices. And in our choices, we create a path. Like right now. I made a choice to sit here in this parking lot and be on this phone with y'all and talk. That created a pathway. Or I could have created a choice where I got in the bed and laid down because I don't feel good. That would have created a separate pathway. What I'm saying is you always got a crossroad. The choices that you make determines the path that you travel. So you got to understand, if you allow somebody to take your ability to choose what's best for you away from you, you just gave them the power to create in your universe. I ain't finna do it. You have to get to a space where you put yourself first. And this may be a controversial topic, even before your kids. I said what I said. And a lot of people ain't gonna like me for that and may even click off. Kids are adaptable. You know not to make a choice where your kid is gonna be in danger. You know not to make a choice where you're gonna be in danger. So we ain't talking about danger here. And I'm gonna give you a great example. Remember I told y'all that I was in a shelter, right? After that shelter, during that time when I was in that shelter, I manifested my dream apartment. I sat down. I said everything that I wanted in my new place. I wrote it down, created a whole board for it, and I manifested it. I ended up moving in to that place. My couch, everything. Manifested all of it. Even my vehicle. Manifested all of it. No problem, right? Got to the point where there were some challenges in the building. It was a brand new building. But there were some challenges. Because I felt like everything should have been perfect. Because I was paying so much fucking money for this apartment at the time. I chose to leave. To go and buy a house close to my grandma. And my whole idea was my son wanted to be closer to his grandma. His Gigi, great grandma. So I was like, I'm going to give my son that. And at least I'll have a garage for my car. And so I moved in this house. Nothing that I liked or valued was necessarily here. But it gave me proximity to my grandma so my son could be close and walk back and forth, you know. The biggest mistake I ever made in my life. At least with those challenges in that apartment, I was happy. And if mama's happy, my baby is going to be happy, because my happiness and my energy sets the tone for the whole motherfucking house. The moment that I step foot in this new house, man, it's been depression on depression on depression. It's been bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. So if this don't teach you something, I made a move thinking I'm doing something better for my child, and it ended up putting me in a space where I started battling psychologically with bullshit. Now my kid is unhappy because I'm unhappy there. To when I was happy at the apartment, my kid was happy. He was upbeat. Moved into the other place. He like, man, I don't like this place, Mom. I'm like, me neither, shit. So it goes to show you, you start call yourself doing something great for your kids, despite to knock off your own fucking nose, you fuck up every time. Lessons learned, though. But because I sit back and I evaluate shit and think about shit like, damn, I could have fucking did better than that. I could have did another little move, right? But, I mean, hindsight is always 20/20. But from this point forward, how do I go forward? You know what I'm saying? So, now, my target is to move and relocate somewhere else. So, but I know what to look for and how to make sure that it's a place where I'm going to thrive. You understand? Because if I thrive, my son is going to thrive. Period. You know? So that's a great example. But to the family point that Spirit wanted me to make, me being around them was a huge challenge for me. Like, how the man felt big emotions in the backseat, that's how I feel around them. And it's not personal. I'm not saying that they did anything wrong. It's just that I have certain triggers and certain things that happen in childhood that I have to overcome and work through. It's not my family fault. It's not that they are bad people. It's just I have to overcome certain things. So when I come to events, I may stay 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 40 minutes and leave. And a lot of people get upset with me because of that, you know, because I don't partake like that. And it's funny how people take shit personal that has absolutely nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm the most disliked and I'm okay with it. I don't feel the need to truly explain because I honestly, truly don't care enough to explain. It's not important to me. But I want to utilize this as a great example because each time that I go over there, I know that I'm going to be in my feelings for about 3 days. So, because I'm going to be triggered. It's going to happen. So I set my house up to cocoon me for the next 3 days. And if I don't have the capability to cocoon for 3 days, I'm going to pass on the event and I'll catch the next one. You feel me? But I go into shit with strategy and with a plan. And each time that I encounter them, my heavy feelings get lesser and lesser and lesser to a degree. First time, I was like a 10. The 5th time, I'm at like a 5.5. And each time it gets lesser and lesser to the point where I don't feel anything. That's the object. That's the goal. To sit with those emotions and feelings that come up for me from our interactions, you see, and to face them. It's really, people think it's me versus them, But really, it's me versus me. It's me versus my nervous system. It's me versus my own feelings and emotions. It has absolutely fucking nothing to do with them, essentially, you know. But it goes to show you how we take things personal that other motherfuckers do or don't do, you know. So, okay. Okay, Spirit said that's good. That's what we wanted you to talk about. So, y'all, it done got dark. I had a good time talking. I'm glad that I did talk. I've been talking for 55 minutes, so. But I love y'all. Comment down below if you want to share your story. If you want to reach out, you can email me at divinebeings with an S podcast@outlook.com. If you want a consultation, email me. We can hook something up. If you want to talk about your feelings, your emotions, and you need help overcoming them or what have you, once again, hit me up. I can definitely help you, and we can go from there. Love y'all. Toodles.